I was sitting working on my campaign about informing people about suicide from the very human story. I was making myself coffee and listening to the radio, and the program discussed was about a head teacher who died by suicide. And so I listened, I held my breath and I listened. And I know the circumstances of that head teacher because it touched some circumstances of my own. So the head teacher was judged by a government department, misjudged, and wasn't allowed to discuss that judgment with anybody. And in that judgment, felt humiliated, isolated, misjudged, and who knows what else was going on in that person's life. And it's a human story. And my story was very similar, where I was managing some really serious home circumstances where my dad had dementia, my mum was diagnosed with cancer, and then out of the blue was accused by a school governor without even investigating. I was accused of something that actually I didn't do, somebody else caused. And I felt misjudged, and I felt I couldn't talk to anybody because it was a confidential personnel issue. And I felt humiliated and isolated. And as a consequence, I left the profession. And it's a very similar story to my son's, where again, somebody else created an incident and it was deemed to be my son's fault. He was unheard, he was misjudged, he was humiliated, and he isolated himself. And I left the profession at the point that my circumstances occurred, because in that space of all of that happening, our mental resources closed down. At the point of that tipping point, we feel totally overwhelmed. We don't know who to turn to for help because, as we know, mental health services are totally swamped, and we're told not to discuss it. So, if you go to the GP, there's a long waiting list. You've still got that very long period of holding all of that judgment within yourself, and you begin to feel very trapped. And often, when those mental resources shut down, you haven't got that logic and that reasoning and that bounce ability to feel as resilient as you normally would. And it can happen to any one of us. That tipping point can happen. So what do we do? And this is really important. We need to bear witness to each other. We need to be a true witness. And we can only do that by listening deeply. And you can't train to listen deeply in an afternoon. It's something you need training and retraining and remembering and discussing, because it's about starting with you. If you are able to manage your own mind state, you can come to be a witness for somebody else in their suffering without bringing your own circumstances and issues, without colluding with them, without wanting an outcome from them. You just are in that very unconditional space, and you need to understand how to be in that space, because we can't be in it all the time. We're human. We dip in and out of it. So how do you bear witness to somebody else's suffering? When I lost, or I decided to resign from my job, my son and my daughter were the two who encouraged me to go and retrain as a mental health educator and coach. And I keep up with my training every year, and I've been doing that now for 15 years. So I haven't taken an afternoon to train. I've done this seriously. You matter. Human beings matter. And in the same way as any other professional is monitored, I too have been monitored over a long period of time. And I would expect no less. So the coaching that you can have in your school can happen and can be trained by a professional. There's more than myself out there. It doesn't have to be anniepool.com. But I've been working with head teachers now for 15 years in this role. And I can honestly say that I have managed a profession who is under a great deal of burden. And that tipping point from resilience to overburdening is very, very fine. And you can bring, and it doesn't have to be a school because this is an ordinary human story. You can find a way of somebody witnessing your suffering, truly witnessing it, not trying to fix it. You're not broken. You're just in a space of circumstance and overthinking. And it can be seen differently. It's about perspective. So my own son, who died by suicide last year, that's why I'm campaigning. I want to be able to bring this witnessing each other's suffering. It doesn't have to be an expert, but it does have to be somebody who understands that unconditional, deep listening way. It's something that I train. It's something you can offer in your workplace, an understanding that starts with the leadership and then follows on down. We lose too many people to suicide each year. 703,000 people globally every year die by suicide. That's too many. You matter. Take care.